Sonic the Hedgehog with me, Matthew Caddis, aka Puggy. So today we will hopefully look at the other two characters that I kind of missed in my playthrough, and then we'll move to the Game Gear version, sort of. I'm not going to show all of it in this episode, but I'm going to do another bonus episode because I do want to cover what is, well, somewhat different. Anyway, firstly, let's look at the remake with Mighty the Armadillo. Oh yes. And if you've ever played the Encore mode in, dare I say, Sonic Mania, well, he behaves in a similar way in that case. Even more so with his hammer drop move. Not only can he destroy enemies now, he can also seemingly bring down rings with that move as well. Seriously. One difference is he doesn't have the spike immunity from, dare I say, Sonic Mania. Which, yeah, but he does still make him go super. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing, and we'll get to Ray in a moment. Yes, Ray the Flying Squirrel is in this game. And it's going to be interesting, I'll say that. But for now, let's not go down there. Yeah, that pool was not in the either the Game Gear version or the thing. So yeah, that was something new added to the game. I'm guessing for a bit more to make the level a bit longer because that's the thing, I suppose. Something with Green Hill anyway. Weirdly, that's a mechanic that would later be in. Dare I even say it? Jungle Zone, which I think that's still in there, but anyway. For Ray the Flying Squirrel, well, he also controls it fairly similar to how awful me for killing Spring Yard's music. Not that you can tell that he's gone super there. What I'm trying to do is not make him go super, to be honest. Seriously, that's what I'm trying to do with Ray there. I am not trying to make him go super. That was not my intention, so I'm going to try and ignore the big ring that Creative Area put at the beginning of the stage and instead go straight for the main thing of Ray's abilities, namely his ability to fly. Now, unlike in, dare I say, Sonic Mania, instead of just moving the controller up and down, instead all you need to do is press the jump button in this game, seriously. Makes it a bit easier, I guess. The only problem is when you're trying to go super, because there's no separate button, certainly in this version of Sonic 1, to make, not go super, shall we say. In addition, you can't get your rings back because it's based off the Master System version, obviously. But there we go. Squeeze through here. Yes, I can. That's good because it's going to be a pain otherwise. And then, yeah. You can even do the flight cancel like with Tails, which is insane. That's an ability that I didn't think I ever needed in a Sonic game, but I do. Certainly with Tails and Ray here. Yeah, it feels a bit more satisfying to just destroy the boxes. The only problem is when you run out of air, not road really, to go on, so yeah. Anyway, over to the Game Gear version of Sonic 1. The first thing you'll note is, despite being a faithful port, the screen crunch is a thing, seriously. I'll mostly be looking at the special the first part of Green Hill and maybe one of the bosses, because the only real boss that's really changed is in Bridge Zone, so yeah. I'm playing this on Sonic Origins on my Nintendo Switch, which is why the thing is an echo. Oh, it's also the only version of the thing that's in. But there's that jump mechanic that was sorely missing from the remake. I'm guessing they couldn't really implement it in there, which seems you really boosting through the stage. Seriously, this isn't an 8-bit game, seriously? And you just boost through the stage? Yeah, that is just wild. As for the Chaos Emeralds, as I mentioned, they are in each level. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm actually going to go to one of the special stages here. As you can see, it looks fairly similar. I think you have a bigger time limit and the screen is more crunchy here. And you move a lot quicker here. The continue boxes are still here. In fact, that's the only way to get continues in this game, if you get a game over. So yeah, they still remain in the special stage. So you don't get 50 rings or whatnot in this case. And that's it. Seriously. Which is a shame, because I absolutely love the music here in Sonic 1. But never mind. I might as well show off one of the examples of the Chaos... Oh, never mind. We're not going to the Chaos Emeralds. Instead, we'll look at this fight with Dr. Eggman in Breach Zone, because this was quite different, as you can see. He's not going between things, he's just going between parts of the bridge, and it makes it a bit harder because you have to avoid walking on him, really. So, yeah. It's much harder than it looks in the thing. Probably brought in to make... to handle the screen crunch, because, yeah, it does make the boss a lot harder, and I'm not kidding there. So let's see how we get one of the Chaos Emeralds then, namely in Jungle Zone. Why not? This is one of the few places where it's located in the first act rather than the second, because the second act, of course, has you climbing through the jungle. And I say I actually like the look of Jungle Zone a lot more in the Game Gear version. I think there was a lot more detail in the background, which, yeah, I wonder how that was possible on a handheld. Seriously, but yeah, they added a lot more to the background than they did in the original games. Yeah, kudos to, I'm guessing Ancient. They did the both thing. The same studio set up by Yuzo Koshiro to handle the game. Anyway, that being said, more roll. Oh no, this isn't it. But the continue things are still there. But you'll see the log mechanic for getting the Chaos Emerald in this level. For each one, you get it in a different way throughout the levels. Although it isn't nearly as hard as in the 8-bit version of Sonic 2, let me tell you. We'll get to that when I do it. I might need a separate playthrough because of how the game works. Anyway, that being said, we don't want to go down there. Well, why I did a save state, I don't know, because, to be honest, there is already a thing, and the other thing about the thing, it doesn't measure lives due to how the Game Gear works. Of course, it probably can't handle lives above that of 9. Well, you can get multiple lives, I'll say that. But never mind. And yeah, the crab beasts do still shoot energy beams at you. That has not changed in this game one singular bit. Seriously. The Game Gear games on Sonic Origins are kind of a DLC item they added. In addition, so yeah. Is it worth buying them? Only if you don't have a GameCube or a PlayStation 2 with, let's see, if you're not getting it for a console thing. I'm not going to try buying it for what's happened with, well, the PlayStation and whatnot, so, and besides that, I prefer the Switch for retro gaming, for the most part. Seriously. Namely because it runs on the, it can be played on the go, of course. Weirdly enough, the choppers, yeah, even weirder, at least in the Mega Drive version of Sonic 1, they seem to emerge from under the bridge in Green Hill Zone. In this case, the choppers seem to come up from nowhere in the water, seriously, at least in that one area where they're jumping up from the bottom there, and mutants. I absolutely hate those guys. I already said that in my main playthrough of the remakes. Let's go down here then and see if these things down here, because this did form a when I did play the thing as a kid, the Master System version, so only one of the first video games I did play, but you're supposed to jump on this log and run it to the other end and get the Chaos Emerald that way. Easily one of the toughest emeralds, other than the one in Scrap Brain Zone, I suppose. And I did not mean to die there, but yeah. You can get your own death music in this game. It's insane. Seriously. Move out of the way, Donkey Kong, I guess. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one when we'll look at, I guess, Labyrinth Zone. Oh boy, is that one hard without Supersonic. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.